You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains. You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Seminese wards, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
Oh!
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Seminese trinkets and charms. It appears only an echo. No one is there. After exerting some force, you manage to turn the key. It's eerily silent. The door slides slightly open, letting a draft of cold air into the room.
What is this place? I think you're right, though it looks like no one's been here in ages. I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us. Don't forget to take it out of your bag.
An eerie feeling rises in your chest.
Sounds good.
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard. Why does it feel so familiar?
You're right. The weight may fall off. Better not touch it then. It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating, but it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore.
No, it's not that. It's the stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat. It's just a memory.
It's dark, and the flashlight works a lot better if you hold it in your hand. Right. Now,
Some areas are inaccessible without your flashlight.
Yes?
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board. These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins casting wax-based magic. Translucent welkins, with organs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins, hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind? You should adopt one of those welkins as your persona. No longer a mere man, but a welkin. One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however. It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welkin creatures. Political commentary. That one has a great beard too. Some people really like building a world, I think, even if it's just for a game. This looks like concept art for a project. Just look at those details.
And for what? All gone. The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe." This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid. The grand scheme of production. Minimi stands for a mini meeting. It's part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN. Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago, but failed. As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details." handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: call in, tune out, Wirral untethered, and this appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard,
A radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside. We have one of these down at the station, but I never really...
the machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open. It's empty like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected.
This is where the memory should go.
Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nothing, nothing. This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. The whole thing resembles Cadran mosaic tiles, very pedantic. History classes, students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles looked beautiful in the sun. Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV-12, unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries, very advanced. Perhaps the web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says that someone the leader of a massive on-air game built by these, a conductor for the hundreds of story threads that pass through the Game Master's frequency. Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, all of this is gone, left unrealized. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became. The schedule. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out.
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. This old fireplace, the whole thing resembles...
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace? No, that's not it. I think it looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
Utter madness, he thinks, as a compliment.
Through call-in stations, none of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can tenders the Game Master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was no idea. They stopped. Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but... It's too late for that, I'm afraid. Okay, let's keep moving.
Tiles on the cube, like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking. A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static. See, have you stirred the ghost of the doomed commercial area from its rest? Could this be its dismembered heart? The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is... Please repeat. Is this the production schedule? Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old and my name is Yvonne. Now please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid.
I work as a repeater at the East Insulindian repeater station. It's my job to know where you are, Fortress Accident. As for me, well, I am sitting in my cubicle, surrounded...
Doesn't it get lonely, sitting there all by herself?
Lonely? What?
That's why she does it.
Now please tell me the reason for your call, Fortress Accident. The filament you have inserted into the reader. Yes. Is that the production schedule? Good.
Password. Of course it would have a password. That's why there's a human administrator involved.
No.
A hint system is not part of the protocol for repeater stations.
Received. I will register this.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of...
Fortress Accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal... One moment. Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary...
That's not bad.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent, the filament slides out of it. Lonesome, long way home. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the center of the district. Then past the video rental store on the corner. There, at the end of a street lined with pine trees, a small house no larger than a matchbox. 11 Voyager Road. see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy? The lieutenant doesn't answer. His eyes are glued to the animal. A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a... The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge. Let's take a look inside.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to...
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the...
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge. I know. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
The fridge buzzes with energy. The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active. Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the... You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care. Sully Soif.
Looks like someone from that radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they just left their property lying here. That's a plausible hypothesis. It belongs inside a radio computer, storing its memory.
It's like the production schedule you found. Only this...
Really? You don't have a single guess? Oh, I'm sure that child would love to get his hands on the filament memory. Even if he doesn't know what to do with it, he'd probably try to pawn it for speed, based on our encounter. I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the ice bear fridge.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs, rummaging around.
Are these any good?
Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model. Take it. You're a police officer.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way. It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting...
He likes this find.
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut. Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like it's all gone now. You'll never become a poet or an entrepreneur. You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but if you want to try again, then you need to have...
Equip the pry bar by go...
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer. The ice squeaks beneath the pry bar. You think you've got the bar jammed in there pretty well. You see the pry bar's metal handle.
Yeah, well, that's a good pry bar. I'm not criticizing it, but this ice cream maker is frozen. I have no idea, officer. This ice cream maker isn't important enough.
Sooner or later, you will stumble upon a tool mighty enough. Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby. Two cables, something close to you.
Why did you do that?
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything. This orange machine is dead still. You slip your... If you want to...
Equip the
Only an electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now. The bear's eyes are dead and empty. Ice inside. Both cables. Somewhere. An old call box. East Delta Commerce Center. This must be the name. You ring the doorbell, but... A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace. Coloring looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony.
Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney. No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other.
What are you doing? Wait, really? We should investigate, see if someone's upstairs.
A lush layer of coal now covered. You feel the spirit of Ramut Karzai ancient hero of Grad, pulsing through you. All that's left is to cover your face in war paint. 3 dangerous stripes appear.
What are you doing? Please wipe your
No, you're a proud warrior. Keep it. You can feel your cheeks turn red under the lieutenant's gaze.
Thank you. So, where were we?
A lush layer of coal. You feel the spirit. 3 dangerous stripes appear on.
Please.
No.
Thank you. So, where were we?
The hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe hurts. A thick layer of coal dust. You muster all your strength and yell. You're dehydrated. A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected. But malignant
Always has to be the skeptic, this man. An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. This must be where This is directly above the central furnace in the cellar. The voices probably came from here. What an odd thing to do. Still nothing. No one's... Those curtains prove to be surprisingly sturdy.
There must be another way to wake up whoever is in...
A thick layer of coal dust. You muster all your strength and yell. A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace. Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease.
Hello?
You've awakened the entity.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
You hear a low rumble upstairs, the sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
After you, officer.
Hello, I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius. So what kind of dye are you looking for?
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps she's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you. Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing...
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Very good. My rate is 10 real per set. I'll take a look around and see if there's any particular stone you want to use.
It almost looks as if the stones and no falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have any...
How did I become one? It was a business decision. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice. Not especially. I like working with rare materials.
Some of those nice people have big bucks. She's thankful for the security they provide her.
Nothing really.
Who cares about the dead body? We might be dealing... The lieutenant looks at his notebook. Then...
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you did...
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window. It's an odd profession, making dice for people. But well, there's always something going on in the whirling's back. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk work.
She's heard of the murder, but she's not sorry to disappoint you. Informing on someone in a murder investigation would intrude upon her.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful... I might have, but in this case, all I would... It's really hard to make anything out.
She not.
Anything else, officer? We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse.
Creative.
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true. Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energy spared her somehow? Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex. You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Central project. And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts.
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
What, so the curse only affects people with poor work ethics? What you're describing isn't a curse, it's capitalism.
Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointing, but I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see.
More or less. Are you interested in it?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working...
A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet. It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's Boxing Club, a community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime. Kuno. Who's Kuno? Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it would take more than a gym to help. A kind man, from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym. It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse.
It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to... Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milias. Who would...
What's this?
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own. It's a sub-Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
Nothing changes in her tone as she says that.
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with...
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators. You mean Mr. Fabron? Anything else? There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came. Yeah, the atelier didn't know it either. They produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down and, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection. Really? Anyway.
Poor guy. Suddenly, you get a feeling that insects are important to the case somehow. It's hard.
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever the usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them.
Men like that are a curse.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs. I have no idea why those skids and blades are still lying around.
They were just props. Why return them?
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously. Even if the usual, they ran out of money and couldn't get the... Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about cap. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic. And
She's right. Showing up to work on time is important.
not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings.
The dice is black and filled with little silver.
Anything else? Oh boy, the fabled Revershow ICT. You're in for a treat here. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
There was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per. And by man the booth, I mean slumped behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Sounds like she really doesn't know how to be a female ally.
Oh, but they did. They did show up to work, and not alone. There were also acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering, and they already had the bear. The bear. Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't. Eventually, Ravishell ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glace 5000. Glace 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges. Maybe, because the taxidermist he said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he meant...
Sounds cool. Why is everyone doing drugs in this place? Even the taxidermist?
It's an imaginary beast that got by telling you to do more drugs.
The horrific necktie tightens around your neck, strangely excited. But it doesn't feel particularly fun this time around.
Do you? Well, anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire. Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long... Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. Are you sure it was Slipstream SEA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore. Tricentennial Electrics? It used to be a major electric company 100...
No, it was too real to be just a prank. Either we're dealing with a professional actress, or...
Pranks can be eerie. Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity. That's right. I haven't even written my name there. You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Del...
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the Doom commercial.
Right. It used to be a gaming arcade. This is an... My advice, don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism,
Agreed. Pinball is the word.
His disdain for pinball could not be clearer.
Sure, I'm listening. I'm pretty sure it still doesn't... Sure, I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else? I'm listening. I'm pretty sure it... Sure, I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else? Of course. Tell me what you have in mind. Ah, yes. Fortress accident. The Wiro untethered die is a variation of...
Ice, death.
I'm thinking something made from alligator jawbone, cast in black resin. The reptile bone is as white as ice and dead as, well, death. For 7 real, I could have it ready in 8 hours. It's an icositetrahedron, a 24-sided die that can produce results for 2-sided, 3-sided, 4-sided, 6-sided, and 12-sided die with a single roll. Technically, you can also use it for many other sizes, but you may need to reroll results.
Loving it. So nifty.
Untreated bone is porous and prone to chipping. Cast it in... Great. See you in 8 hours then. Was there anything else?
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here. She has begun. A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't talk right now.
You just can't win. Out of the rain and into...
Math. It's really difficult. Like, really. They say... Oh, I found something while you were away. I thought this would fit you. Like, thanks for helping out. Not me. The city, I mean. Like a detective does. Just what Dick Mullen would ask. I got it from behind the curtains. I'm not really supposed to go there. Yes, just like the one Dick Mullen wears all the time. You'll look way... Right, I have to get back to my homework now.
You're alive and well. Don't keep me waiting now. What's in there? Yes, yes.
Tell her how ghastly it was. You know it's what she wants to hear.
I knew it. Oh, such horrors that have been thrust upon us. But what else did you find? Did anything survive? No, of course not. Have you located... Okay, but please, only a few questions. Yes, the Simonees are very...
The woman looks
A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep. I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is...
the narrative she's built herself. It does. Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. The uncertainty, to hell with it. Perchance you ought to just lie, sire.
A third order presence.
A great dark relief.
I've heard of these triactors. In certain occult literature, that's too dark to dwell. I understand everything, sir. Thank you for your descending into the maelstrom. I will keep fort up here, strengthen the wards, do my best. And if you happen upon the third entity in your travels... May the Lord be with you.
Well, this has been absolute.
Yes, the venture continues.
Should we get out of here before the...